It may surprise or even shock you to hear what I'm about to say, but if you're seeing this video right now, it's no coincidence. As a chosen one, you've probably noticed that life pushes you through certain crossroads where a single choice can redirect your entire destiny. God says there's one decision that will define everything. Don't skip it. The call is loud and clear. You either embrace this defining moment or let it pass you by. Before we continue, remember to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment 77 to send a powerful signal to the universe. Replay this video to intensify its energy. If you truly are a chosen one, you'll watch until the very end. If not, you'll likely drift away before these revelations sink in. Chapter 1. Recognizing the cosmic setup. Have you ever felt a strange pattern shaping your circumstances, like the universe orchestrating pivotal moments? These recurring themes or repeated nudges aren't random coincidences. They're part of a cosmic setup designed to bring you face to face with a life-altering decision. You might sense it in subtle ways. Random opportunities align with your skills. A conversation resonates with your deeper questions, or a restless feeling suggests you're on the verge of something major. This isn't mere luck. It's divine alignment pointing you toward the one choice that can shift your entire narrative. Yet your conscious mind may waver, uncertain if these signals are real or illusions. People you meet every day might dismiss the idea that destiny hinges on a single turning point. But as a chosen one, you can't ignore your spiritual antenna, which vibrates when something big draws near. Your dreams might intensify, or you'll spot confirming signs in overheard comments or surprising synchronicities. Even if doubt creeps in, the tug remains, reminding you that you can't just opt out this time. God orchestrates these setups so you can't conveniently bypass them. Perhaps your finances feel precarious, driving you toward a job opportunity that demands faith. Maybe a relationship stands at a fork, compelling you to speak up or walk away. Or you face a moral dilemma, choose convenience or the high road. Whatever the scenario, it's layered with spiritual stakes. If you seize the divine cues, you unlock growth. If you shrink back, you might remain stuck in a loop of repetition and regret. The cosmic setup extends beyond you too. The ripple effects of your choice matter. Family, friends, even strangers might benefit if you step into your calling. The world hungers for authenticity, someone unafraid to stand by a deeper truth. By saying yes to this pivotal decision, you grant others permission to trust their own nudges. That's the butterfly effect at play. Your courageous choice ignites courage in onlookers, many of whom quietly dream of escaping their own comfort zones. Of course, the stakes feel high. The unknown can be paralyzing, but you've navigated big transitions before. Reflect on prior leaps of faith, each led to surprising breakthroughs. This one crucial decision forms the next rung in your evolving ladder. Declining it might initially seem safe, yet you'd forfeit the spiritual inheritance awaiting you on the other side. This cosmic setup is a gift, not a trap. It's heaven's way of ensuring you can't stay complacent. The signals get louder, the tension builds until you either surrender to the calling or walk away. If you're truly a chosen one, you know that ignoring the divine is no real option. The love you carry for your own destiny, for humanity, compels you. You sense that by aligning with God's plan, new doors open, not just for you, but for those who will gain strength from your example. The question remains, will you trust these orchestrated events and choose boldly? Or will you let fear sabotage your chance at a divinely scripted breakthrough? Chapter 2. Peeling back the fear of the unknown. Fear often grips the soul at moments like this. The unknown looms large, painting worst-case scenarios in your mind. What if you fail? What if you lose security or face ridicule? Your imagination crafts a highlight reel of regrets, making it tempting to remain in your comfort zone. However, your identity as a chosen one won't let you settle for half-truths or a destiny half-lived. This intention is proof that the calling is real. It agitates you not to torture you, but to propel you beyond timidity. Facing the unknown demands that you acknowledge fear without letting it dictate your actions. It's okay to feel apprehensive. Embracing that emotion doesn't weaken you, it humanizes you. Yet each time fear arises, you can remind yourself of past times you leaped into uncertainty only to land on your feet. That track record of survival and growth is your shield. By re-examining those memories, you rewire your current anxiety into confidence. People you meet every day might advise you to be practical or realistic, urging baby steps that barely alter the status quo. That counsel arises from their own fear-based perspectives. They fear losing you to success or seeing you shatter their limited worldview. Being chosen means you hold a deeper awareness that practical steps only get you so far. True breakthroughs often emerge from bold leaps that defy logic, guided by spiritual clarity rather than purely rational thinking. Another step in peeling back fear is to realize the difference between fear and intuition. Intuition quietly nudges, pointing out when something is misaligned with your path, whereas fear shouts doom and gloom. If you notice your anxiety lacks clarity or specifics, it's likely just a voice of self-doubt. On the other hand, if you sense a calm, consistent warning, it might be intuition suggesting a different route. Sharpening this discernment becomes essential, ensuring you pivot out of fear's trap and stay receptive to genuine spiritual signals. A practical method: visualize the best-case outcome. Envision stepping into your new role, your new project, or your new life stage with a sense of triumph, peace, and validation. Let that image invigorate you, overshadowing the mental images of disaster. Affirmations help too. Short statements like, "I embrace the unknown," or "I trust in God's guidance," repeated in tense moments, can quell the hurricane of doubt. By focusing on the positive possibilities, you anchor your energy in hope rather than dread. Ultimately, fear of the unknown is a universal human experience. The difference is how you respond. As a chosen one, you are quick to transform fear into fuel. Each day, affirm that your calling is stronger than your terror of uncertainty. Lean on prayer or meditation, tapping into cosmic reassurance that you're guided by a hand larger than you can see. Once you interpret fear not as a barrier, but as a catalyst, you can move forward without losing sight of the luminous outcome waiting for you on the other side. That's the beauty of being chosen, stepping beyond fear to fulfill a fate that's always been shining quietly in the corners of your heart. Chapter 3. God's message: don't skip this decision. Amid the swirl of confusion, there's a divine message repeating like a chorus in your spirit: don't skip this decision. It resonates in quiet hours, punctuates your daily thoughts, and maybe even appears in the words of strangers. As a chosen one, you sense God rarely shouts commands. He often whispers them through subtle cues. Yet this time, it's emphatic enough that you can't dismiss it as coincidence. Why is this decision so critical? Because skipping it risks locking you in a loop of repetition. Remember those times you felt trapped in a cycle, pursuing the same unfulfilling pattern, half living your calling, half expressing your gifts? Each cycle was a gentle nudge that you needed to make a choice, leading to real change. Now God underscores it. He's offering a defining pivot, a moment that sets off an avalanche of blessings if you say yes. People you meet every day might not understand the gravity. They see life as a series of arbitrary events, but your perspective reads a deeper script. In that script, each crucial decision is an intersection where human will meets divine plan. Missing these intersections can sideline your destiny for months or even years. On the flip side, seizing them triggers exponential growth, like a door unlocking an entire corridor of opportunities. Don't skip it. It also implies urgency. While divine grace is patient, some windows of favor don't remain open indefinitely. Time and circumstances align uniquely for your benefit, and if you let the moment pass, you might wait long for a similar alignment. This isn't to instill fear, but to emphasize readiness. You have the tools now. You've gleaned insight from prior lessons. God's timing suggests you are right for a leap. Your decision could revolve around a career move, a relocation, a crucial conversation, or a vow to break an unhealthy cycle. The specifics vary, but the principle stands. Your spiritual radar recognizes it as the big one, the pivot that changes everything. As you weigh pros and cons, you might feel tension. That tension is normal. It's part of acknowledging the magnitude of what God invites you into. Rather than letting tension paralyze you, treat it as a signal that your future's on the line. Heed God's message by praying more, meditating specifically on this issue. Ask for signs or confirmations and keep your heart open. Often you receive a dream, a scripture, or sudden clarity that confirms your hunch. God's voice, though sometimes gentle, clarifies when your next step can't be missed. He respects free will, so he won't force your hand, but he'll highlight the path so you don't stumble blindly. In the end, "Don't skip it" is a divine plea to trust that God's plan surpasses your own limited reasoning. The immediate cost of stepping beyond old security pales compared to the long-term fruit. By deciding in alignment with your calling, you realign cosmic currents in your favor, setting forth a chain reaction of blessings that far outshine any short-term discomfort. The question remains, will you answer his prompting or let it fade into regretful silence? Chapter 4. Understanding the cost of commitment. Whenever a high-stakes choice presents itself, commitment looms. Many fantasize about new opportunities but shy away once they grasp the sacrifices. To step into a destiny-shaping commitment, you must acknowledge it's not all sunshine. Whether it's a job that requires relocation, a relationship that demands vulnerability, or a calling that insists on unwavering discipline, there's a cost. But the chosen one comprehends that greatness always exacts a price. Begin by evaluating your priorities. Are you ready to sacrifice comfort and routine in exchange for substantial impact or growth? Do you accept that forging a new path might strain your relationship with friends who cling to old versions of you? People you meet every day often prioritize the immediate gratification of comfort over the long-term rewards of purpose. You, however, understand that the cost of not honoring your calling is far higher. Remaining stuck in dissatisfaction, haunted by what-if scenarios. The next cost is emotional. Embracing a new role where challenge can stir insecurities. You wonder if you're truly qualified or if you'll crack under pressure. That's normal. Great callings seldom appear easy, or they wouldn't require faith. This emotion of vulnerability actually refines you. By facing your self-doubts head-on, you emerge with deeper self-trust. Over time, you'll see that every hurdle you overcome bolsters the confidence needed for subsequent, larger challenges. You'll also need to manage your resources: time, money, energy. The new path might demand advanced training, networking events, or daily hours devoted to improvement. Balancing these demands with existing responsibilities can stretch you. That's when your skill in setting boundaries and scheduling becomes critical. If you say yes to everything, you risk burnout. Carefully curating where your energy flows ensures quality over quantity. Spiritual cost arises too. Accountability grows when you sign up for something bigger. The universe expects you to steward your talents responsibly. Lacking off or half-hearted engagement might not yield immediate punishment, but you'll feel the disconnect. A chosen soul can sense when they're shortchanging their calling, an internal discord that disrupts peace. So you commit wholeheartedly, blending prayer or meditation with practical action. This energy keeps you aligned with divine support, fueling your journey rather than draining you. Finally, consider that stepping into this commitment could alter how others perceive you. You could face any skepticism or unsolicited advice from those who resent your boldness. That's part of the cost. Learning to navigate praise without inflating your ego and criticism without corroding your self-belief. The more you adapt, the more unstoppable you become. Reflect on the role models you admire. They all face their own crucible of challenges, yet emerge shining. Following suit, you accept these tests as part of the covenant you form with your destiny. Understanding the cost doesn't deter you, it clarifies your path. By acknowledging what's required, time, emotional energy, possible misunderstandings, you move forward with eyes wide open. This transparency fosters resilience. When trials strike, you're not blindsided. You remember, I counted the cost and I chose this anyway. That anchor steadies you until the storm passes, reminding you that every sacrifice is an investment in the future you're uniquely equipped to shape. Chapter 5. When others don't understand your decision. Inevitably, some around you won't grasp why you're about to make such a leap. Their faces might show confusion or concern, their words sprinkled with cautionary tales. After all, you're about to break from a norm they're comfortable with. In their eyes, security or familiarity is paramount. Risk is reckless. Yet as a chosen one, your moral and spiritual compass doesn't revolve around pleasing the masses. It's guided by higher direction. Sometimes their lack of understanding stems from genuine care. Family members or close friends worry about your well-being and future. They fear you'll lose money, time, or stability chasing what they perceive as lofty dreams. Instead of growing defensive, you can respond with empathy. Acknowledge their concern, assure them you've weighed the risks, and explain gently how the nudge you feel isn't a random whim. You sense a divine orchestration behind it, a push you can't ignore. Other times, misunderstandings spring from envy or insecurity. People who once felt superior might see a bold decision as a threat to their sense of normalcy. They, in turn, interpret your leap as a silent challenge, highlighting where they've stayed stagnant. This can manifest as ridicule or skepticism. Who does she think she is? Or, he's getting too big for his britches. But your choice, if fueled by sincerity rather than arrogance, is not about overshadowing them. It's about aligning with your purpose. Their discomfort reveals more about their unfulfilled longings than any flaw in your plan. The key is not to chase approval. Too often, we sabotage our destiny seeking validation from people unqualified to offer it. If God Himself is prompting you, no earthly consensus can match the authority of that call. That doesn't imply ignoring wise counsel, but it does mean distinguishing fear-based advice from truly supportive guidance. Some might point out blind spots lovingly, others might cloak jealousy and faint concern. Discernment will help you spot which is which. As you move forward, expect some relationships to shift. Those unwilling to accept your evolution may drift away or intensify their critiques. This can feel like a betrayal, especially if you once valued their opinions. Yet remember that not everyone is meant to accompany you to every stage of your journey. If they can't celebrate or at least respect your path, it might be time to loosen the bond. Releasing such ties isn't cruelty. It's honoring both your growth and their right to remain where they are. Ultimately, you don't owe anyone a perfect explanation. You do, however, owe yourself honesty. If your intuition, prayers, and the signs all converge on this decision, no level of external misunderstanding should deter you. God's plan for your life doesn't require unanimous approval. It demands courage, faith, and a willingness to endure temporary solitude if necessary. And if you stay grounded, the day will come when your once skeptical circles witness the fruits of your alignment, perhaps even finding inspiration in what they previously failed to comprehend. That's the paradox of stepping into your call. The ones who initially object might later realize you were trailblazing a route that leads to greater freedom and meaning for all. Chapter 6. Embracing the breakthrough moment after wrestling with doubts, counting the cost, and preparing yourself for misunderstanding. You approach the actual turning point, your breakthrough moment. It might be a phone call that changes the course of your career, a simple "yes, I'll do it," spoken under the guidance of spirit, or a signature on a contract that cements your commitment. The transition can feel simultaneously monumental and strangely peaceful. Why peaceful? Because when you align with divine intention, a curious calm settles in. There's no frantic last-minute panic over whether this is right. It just resonates. You realize you're stepping onto a path illuminated by synchronicities and cosmic winks. Even if you're not 100% sure of the outcome, you sense a belonging to this moment. Doubts still exist, but they no longer rule you. Faith overrides them, clarifying that this is the decision you're meant to make. Friends, meanwhile, may notice a glow in your demeanor. They may ask you, "Are you sure you want to do this?" And you answer with surprising certainty. Such conviction is the hallmark of a soul that's recognized its timing. People you meet every day often yearn for that sense of purpose but rarely find it. So when they see it in you, they're intrigued. They might even envy the clarity shining from your eyes. It's not arrogance, it's grace. During the breakthrough moment, allow yourself to pause, breathe, exhale the tension. Let the significance sink in. This is not just another day. By crossing this threshold, you transform potential into reality. If it's a contract, you might physically feel an electric spark as the ink dries. If it's a spoken decision, each word resonates in your chest, confirming you've spoken your truth out loud. Simultaneously, a sense of vulnerability can arise. A big leap leaves safety nets behind. Embrace that vulnerability. It means you're alive, actively partnering with fate. The chosen path demands your full presence. By letting go of illusions of control, you stand ready to dance with unforeseen blessings and challenges. This dynamic interplay fuels personal evolution in a way small, cautious steps never could. Next, you might witness immediate shifts. Perhaps new resources appear when you discover strengths you didn't realize you possessed. Doors you tried to open in the past with no success might suddenly swing wide. This isn't magical thinking, it's the law of alignment. When your inner yes matches the universe's timing, events can assist you. Even obstacles that do appear won't deter you. They become manageable tasks rather than deal breakers, for you recognize them as stepping stones, not dead ends. Embracing this breakthrough moment also calls for humility. Yes, your readiness and hard work paved the way, but you also sense a guiding hand beyond your efforts. In acknowledging that synergy, you enter yourself in gratitude rather than hesitance. This gratitude, in turn, keeps your vision expansive, ensuring you continue channeling your gifts to uplift others rather than hoard success. The moment you sign or say yes might define your trajectory, but it's what you do in the aftermath, rooted in humble faith, that cements the legacy of your choice. Chapter 7. Entering a New Life Phase with Confidence. Now that the decisive moment has arrived and you've made the choice God promised, you find yourself at the dawn of a new life phase. The air feels different. There's a sense of uncharted territory calling you to explore. Gone is the old script you once clung to, overshadowed by doubts and external pressures. In its place stands a fresh horizon, brimming with challenges, yes, but also the promise of deeper fulfillment. At this juncture, confidence becomes your ally. This isn't arrogance or blind optimism. It's a self-assurance anchored in the knowledge that divine guidance led you here. You recall the internal and external confirmations that aligned before your decision. Now, leaning on those signs, you step forward with your head high. Each challenge or subtle test you face in the early days of this new phase is an invitation to refine your commitment, not to question it. People you meet every day will watch with curiosity, maybe even skepticism. They'll wonder how you manage to adapt so swiftly. They might note how obstacles don't seem to rattle you. That's because your foundation rests on a spiritual core, not on unstable external validation. You've integrated the lessons from your journey. Doubt is a temporary emotion, not a defining truth. Fear is an impetus for growth, not a halting force. In entering this phase, you also recognize the need to keep evolving. Success in one realm spawns new horizons in others. Perhaps your big decision was career-related, but now your personal life demands similar growth. Or you realize that, with your expanded visibility, new responsibilities for leadership or mentorship arise. The chosen one's path rarely stagnates. Instead, each achievement reveals fresh possibilities for service and impact. Staying grounded in grace, you can continue to pray, meditate, or reflect daily. This keeps your heart receptive to further divine nudges. Yes, you've made a crucial choice, but the journey is ongoing. By maintaining a listening posture, you ensure you remain flexible. If the Holy Spirit or your intuition guides you to pivot, you won't resist out of pride or fear. In that sense, each day is a mini decision. Will you keep trusting the path or revert to old habits? As you proceed, expect some naysayers to reemerge. The stakes might be higher now, the scrutiny more intense, but remember your identity transcends public opinion. You're not a leaf tossed by popular sentiment. You're a rooted tree drawing sustenance from deeper wells. Critics can only blow in the wind around you. They can't approach you unless you allow them. Thus, you stride into this new life phase with confidence, an assurance tested and honed by the very journey that brought you here. Your story stands as an example for those hesitating at their own crossroads. When they see your boldness bear fruit, they gather courage to follow their whispers too. In that ripple effect, you fulfill a chosen one's ultimate calling, not just to conquer personal heights, but to illuminate the path for others seeking to do the same.